Thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today is the 29th of August. We're going into Labor Day weekend. It's a 5-day weekend here in the United States. And we had a couple of us SPs, suppressive people, for the Church of Scientology, but we're friendly SPs and we're always cruising around doing different things. And we had heard about this town hall meeting in Inglewood, which is a black area of Los Angeles. And they have they said it was a community center, which I'd never heard with Scientology, that they have a community center. They've never done that. So I wanted to see it, and I wanted to hear the doctor speak. So Lynn Campbell and I was going to say Lynn Pionica, but that's a Scientologist from years ago. It's just like went through my head. Lynn Campbell and I and Casper and I decided to go down there. And I go pick up Lynn, who kind of lives in the area, and then Casper came from around. He lived around sort of in the area also, in a different area. But anyway, we all meet up, and we see a bunch of people outside Scientology. It's a Scientology community center. And we see a bunch of people outside. And so we decide, well, let's go over. Maybe you have to get in line or something like that, wait for it to open up. So we go over, and this very nice, tall black man walks up and says, are you here for the town hall meeting? And we say, yes, we are. And he said, okay, it's been canceled. And we said, really? And he said, yeah, they basically canceled it. They shut the doors. They won't let us in. And I said, you're kidding. I mean, Scientology forever does awful PR things, but this is like unbelievable. These people have flown down from Sacramento, right? And they have an agreement to do an event there. Now, I will say Dr. Woods was one of the coolest people I've seen in a very long time, certainly in a situation like this. Anyway, we walk up to meet her. She's very nice. She gives each of us, these fantastic, a book, right? We ain't crazy, just coping with the crazy system, right? And it's 3 years of scientific research they've done. Here's a pamphlet she gave us, and then a fantastic directory, right, which is African American mental health providers. Very impressive. She was very impressive. She stood there and introduced herself, met people, talked to people. I suggested maybe we go to a restaurant. She said, no, because I know more people are going to come, and I don't want us to not be here and explain what happened. The senator was going to fly down here, and luckily someone called him before he got on the plane. But, I mean, this was amazing. These people had flown from Sacramento, many of them working with our government, and not many, but a few of them working with the government in the mental health field. And here's Scientology. No, can't come in. And so we're out talking for at least an hour out on the street, maybe 2. And they're giving out things. I meet her. She's very kind. Lynn asks her something about Scientology, and she says, this has nothing to do with Scientology. And so I just happened to mention, did she know Louis Farrakhan was, actually really connected to Scientology now? And she said, have you met Minister Tony Mohammed? And I looked over at him and I said, no, and I put out my hand to meet him, and he wouldn't shake my hand. And I said, what's up? And he said, I'm not shaking the hand of someone that's saying something against my leader. And I said, I'm not saying something against your leader. I'm trying to educate you and share some experience and information on 30 years of what I went through, really believing Scientology, trusting in Scientology, and then finding out it was nothing of what I thought it was. And he goes, I don't want to hear that negative information. I mean, the guy was as brainwashed as Scientologists are, or worse. I mean, he was hardcore, dark and mean, and I'll tell you that, sir, if you hear me, that's how I feel about you. I mean, you couldn't be farther from being a minister than anything I've ever thought of. I mean, godlike? No, there's no one that should ever be representing Allah or God, in my opinion, that talks to people like that. No. Dr. Woods, absolutely, 100%. I mean, she was the most gentle, kind, educational, connected with everyone. There were people from Skid Row that were there, she had interviewed them, trying to find out what's going on down there. They were there. She was as kind as could be to every single person. And truly a great example of kindness. And I told her that at the end. But in the meantime, these Scientologists come out, this big kind of Opie guy, and I say, you know, and he's got his orange and yellow or whatever, some costume that's the Scientology outfit, and I say, what is going on with you guys? You know, why don't you open the door? Here are all these people that have come here to do an event. Why don't you let them in? And you know what his response was? Why are you being so antagonistic to me? Who are you? I said, it doesn't matter who I am. You've locked the door on these people that are here to do an event and meet and get together. It's very out PR. And he just keeps attacking me, and I'm like, ay, 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 Scientology, you know, And even there were a couple people that also were from Islam, from the Nation of Islam, and they were like, I don't want to hear your negativeness. And I'm like, wait a minute, let's get something straight here. These people kicked you out of an event that you were supposed to do, but you don't want to hear my negativeness about them? It was the dichotomy was just like, huh? And they said it to me, the same lady said it to Lynn, and we both were like, wow. This is amazing. But the doctor, on the other hand, was very kind, very educational, and so were many of the other people there. I got very interested in helping them. I'm going to if I can, I'll put their website in the links so that if you want to help them, you can, because they've got all kinds of projects going and they definitely need help. But I wanted to thank the doctor. I hope Scientology doesn't do what they usually do, which is try to get you over to Celebrity Center and get you with some opinion leaders and try to, you know, smooth over this whole thing, because that's what they do. And it's like, the truth is, you saw what they did. That is what they are. That's who they are. And I got to tell plenty of people, and it was very, very cool. I'm very happy I went. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Casper. Thank you to Dr. Woods. Thank you to each person that was there. And I'm so sorry that Scientology was as weird as they are, but you got to see that's who they are. They could care less about mental health, in honesty. So there's that. So then we leave after a couple hours. We talk to everybody. We thank them. We leave. And we decide we wanted to see the Ideal Org. We'd heard about Scientology had an Ideal Org in Inglewood, and we wanted to see it. So we're driving around, and all of a sudden we hit the Ideal Org. So we pull in, and it's got the doors are wide open, everyone's welcome, and so, you know, we're like the kids walking around town, you know, so we're like, all right, let's go in, because it looked very pretty. It was I will say, it's very, very pretty. It's on Market and La Brea. So we walk in, and I kind of go over this way looking at some of their stuff, and Lynn goes this way and runs into one of her friends, who is I think it's Juan Bogan. Anyway, he was I may be saying his name wrong, but he helped start Ebony Awakening years ago. And he was like, Lynn, how are you? It's so great to see you, blah, blah, blah. And I can hear all this, and I'm like, oh my God. And he's going on, and would you like a tour? And, you know, it's just so wonderful, so welcoming. Everything's just great, yada, yada. The other lady says to me, and to Lynn, and to Casper, you've got to come to Auditors Day. That's on September 15th. It's going to be up at Universal Studios. And yes, at the Hilton Hotel, and you've got to come. And we're kind of like that. And she goes, well, have you ever been in Scientology, or are you new? And we said both. You know, we're both. We've been in Scientology and we're out, right? And within a second, boom, out comes the PAC base, which is like an hour from Inglewood. The PAC base security comes zooming out. I wrote down their names, because Jason True was there. For the guys who know this, Jason True was down there. Roy, who some people thought he was on the RPF or something. Nope, he's down there. Now, whether they sent them down there to handle us, we didn't know what they were there for. But they came zooming out. Get out of here. I mean, the tone changed dramatically. Get out. And Lynn stayed and talked to her friend for a while. Casper and I sort of slowly walked out. He tried to grab this from me. And I said, no, she gave it to me. I get to keep it. I wanted to show it on my video. I wanted to have the information. It's the 15th of Saturday the 15th, 6:30. Be there on time. And there it is, the Hilton Hotel. And you can call on the 888-841-7131 to confirm. There you go. Passing out that promo. So anyway, they kick us out, of course, and they're going to call the police, and they tell Lynn she's trespassing and blah, blah, blah. So we had fun. It was a very eventful night. So we finally leave, and then we went to the IHOP and had dinner and just chatted about what an amazing night for a Wednesday night. You know, we were just going to go to the town hall meeting and see what it was, and it's like, oy, oy, oy. So that's what happened tonight. That's the beginning of Labor Day weekend. So thank you to anyone that is helping on Scientology invasion of the black community, because you can see they're down there pretending like they're there to help the black community. But would they let these people come in? No. They shut the door. That was it. And then they pulled down the curtain tack. That was perfect. I said, that's Scientology. That's really who they are. And they were like, whoa. I mean, it was very weird to see Scientology. Very weird. And thank you for proving exactly who you are, because you always do that. You prove who you are. We can say who you are, but you prove it way better than we could ever do it. So anyway, there you go. Peace out. Everyone have a safe and a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Bye-bye.